applicants write a short essay describing their participation in one or more of those ensembles, the skills they learned and developed, and the experience gained from the opportunity to work within the ensembles and how it enriched their understanding of working collaboratively and developing their own skills. And in addition, we want to hear a 3 to 4 minute video recording that showcases their skill and musicality. So that's it.
All right, the next is the Elliott Charno Music Award. Kathleen could not make it tonight, but Alice Lynn is here with us.
Good evening, everyone. Seniors, hi. My name is Alice Lynn, and I too am as old as the year I graduated. Should we tell them? Class of '71. Yeah. Okay. The Elliott Charno Instrumental Music Award was created in 2021 by Castro Valley Instrumental Music alumni. It is to honor the memory and the legacy of Elliott Charno, who led the instrumental music department from 1964 till 1972. And over the past year, we have presented 10, that's 3 years, 10 $1,000 awards to graduating seniors. And Elliott Charno created and expected from his students an atmosphere of musical excellence through cooperation, respect, teamwork, character building, and the bonding that is created when you're performing music together. This award is not in recognition of musical talent or excellence. Proficiency on your instrument is assumed. So this award recognizes the student musicians who showed up, who helped, team players, positive role models, who participated in fostering in their fellow musicians teamwork, personal growth through all their years at Castro Valley High School instrumental program. And who, for example, worked to inspire all in the joy of making music together. Basically, please, everyone apply, because I know you are all team players. Besides your essay, which is described in the Foundation's website, which Sarah will go over, I'm sure, we do ask for a short video. We're saying no longer than 2.5 to 3 minutes, but use your judgment, but think brevity. It's of you playing the instrument that you play principally in the band, orchestra, or jazz band. If you play the trumpet and the violin in 2 ensembles, give us a little of each. And it's just to put a face and an instrument to the essay, and to your name and the essay. And please, this is easy. We'd love to see you go into the practice room and have your friend hold your phone, and you give your name and state the piece you're going to play, and video. Keep it brief, and to keep it brief, here's the tip. Pick the most beautiful or the flashiest measures, maybe 20 measures, maybe a whole verse of something, and make that your video. Wow us. And we just want to get to know you, and that's what the video is for. So, good luck to all you seniors with your scholarship applications. You're going to be busy for about a month. And great good fortune to all of you in the amazing lives that you are creating. Okay, thanks a bunch.
So much, guys. All right, next is the Terry Joker Scholarship. We have Barbara and Mary to tell us all about it.
Hi, good evening. My name is Mary Harper, and I was a special education teacher at Vanoy and also at Canyon Middle School. I've been retired for a long time. Barbara to present the Terry Jo Kirst Memorial Scholarship. Terry was a friend of ours, and I'll have Barbara introduce herself as well.
Hi, I'm Barbara Heimowitz. I taught with Terry next to her for about 5 years here at Castro Valley High School, and after that I taught at Camden Middle School for the rest of my career. I was happy to be part of the team of resource and special day class teachers here at Castro Valley High, and I really encourage you, if you're in special ed, to apply for our scholarship that Mary's going to tell you about. If you don't apply, there's no chance you're going to get it. So don't be shy, don't be lazy, and consider applying if you qualify.
The scholarship is $1,000. Terry was a good friend of ours. I traveled with her in Europe. We were very good friends. She passed away about 11 years ago, and at that time, our organization, which is the Delta Kappa Gamma Honorary Women's Education Society, made up of mostly retired Castro Valley teachers, but also teachers that are currently teaching. So the application will ask about goals. Most of the students will have an IEP, which is an individualized, I know I knew this, but I've been out so long, individualized education plan. On the application, they'll talk about goals and also about how special ed has supported your goals. So it really, the parts of the application really show us how the student has benefited by the special education program. The schools can be community colleges that they may be attending, four-year schools, vocational schools, even a culinary institute would be allowed. And so the money, the $1,000 can go for such things as books, tuition, computers, anything that will benefit the special ed student as they go on to meet their goals. And so we're excited. We've had 11, I think it's been 11. I keep an album of all the pictures of the recipients, and generally we have between 6 and 10 applicants every year. So that's good. So this is for the special ed students that are here at Castro Valley High.
Okay, next is Matthew Kaser's going to talk about our biggest scholarship that we have. We have an endowment of $1.2 million for Dr. Mary Jane Stam. I won't take away all the fun that Matthew's going to tell you, but he'll give you all the details.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, so in 2007 we were informed by the representative, Dr. Mary Jane Stam's estate, that when she passed on, she would donate an endowment of $750,000. And even though we've been giving out scholarships for the last 15 years or so, as Sarah said, we've still got 1.2 million, and so it's obviously grown quite a bit since then, which is very good. So in any case, Dr. Mary Jane Stam was an obstetrician. She was the first woman obstetrician in Castro Valley in private practice, and for many years she did not have children herself, but for many years she awarded scholarships to eligible high school graduating students. The thing is, it is needs-based, so we will need to know what your needs are. The scholarship is not actually decided by the Ed Foundation. It's decided by the Castro Valley High School Scholarship Committee. So we're not the ones who actually decide who the scholars will be. It's the high school scholarship committee which will do it. We just merely administer the funds. So what's important about this is that it is the biggest scholarship that the Ed Foundation is awarding. It's currently $22,000, which is spread over the 4 years of a regular college career. So each year one would be receiving $5,500 per year. In order to be eligible, you need to have a GPA of 3.5, and as I mentioned, it is needs-based. And this is also, the scholarship will be given to, no matter what you study, it's not necessarily being awarded to anyone with particular qualifications or wanting to go into a particular field of study. So anyone can apply, and so the scholarship committee will obviously read your reports, and probably members of the scholarship will actually know the students involved and will know who the best people are. We'll be giving out 2 scholarships this year, we suspect, since we have got a reasonable amount of money in the scholarship fund. So 2 scholarships will be awarded for this committee. Does anyone have any questions? Hello. During college, the first year, in the freshman year, they need to have a 3.0 GPA. But in subsequent years, for the second and third years, they need to have a GPA of 3.2. So those are the qualifications they need. And also, one other thing that we usually say is that after we know who the scholars are at the end of the year, we would usually like to try and meet them privately and their parents, because quite often some of these scholars are first-generation college students, and so we try and give them a bit of an idea about how to pace themselves through their first year, because occasionally we've had situations where some of the students have not been able to maintain the 3.2 GPA, for example, and therefore lost out on the scholarship. One more question over there, yes? Is it, sorry? Yes, it is needs-based, yes. Well, it's the scholarship committee that decides how it is. They'll probably let you know. They'll let you know then. FAFSA probably, yes, that's correct, yeah. Thank you. Okay, thanks so very much for the moment.
That was a great summary. Okay, we have a brand new one this year, the Sports Foundation. We finally, so great. Thank you so much, Michelle, for.
Yes, thank you. Hi, my name is Michelle Nicole, and I'm the treasurer for the Castro Valley Sports Foundation. And we are a nonprofit organization that donates money through our grant program to mostly the high school. Anybody in Castro Valley who's a nonprofit runs a sports program. We get applications from the middle schools, sometimes elementary, little league, independent league. But like I said, the majority of our money does go to the high school. We have a grant program that coaches can apply for, and that's how we disperse the money. How we earn our money is through, we have a couple different fundraisers. We have our 5K half marathon, which is for Sunday of June, which is at Lake Chabot. It's been going on for over 40 years. I think this is our 47th year. We also have a golf tournament that we do in September in conjunction with the Royal Ranch Rodeo. And we have every other year we have our Castro Valley Hall of Fame banquet, where we recognize athletes, important people in sports from Castro Valley. I think we had Brody Brazil last year. We had Tony Geminetti from the pizza place, because pizza tossing is a sport now. We've had Jason Castro, we've had lots of famous people, but also lots of people that have just done really good things for Castro Valley. So that's where we raise our money. So this year we thought, well, let's give back to individuals, not just programs. So this year we are offering 2 $1,000 scholarships, and our requirements are pretty basic. We want you to have played a sport at Castro Valley for 3 years and have been on a varsity team for at least 1. There will be a short question to answer, and it's going to be pretty basic. You know, what's your most memorable moment on a sports team here at Castro Valley High School? So that is it for us, and please apply. Not a lot of requirements, it's not needs-based. Anybody that fits those requirements can apply. Yeah, no letter of recommendation. We do ask if it gets down to a tight race between a couple of people. We anticipate, because there's lots of athletes here, that we should get a decent amount of applicants. We did ask for a phone number, a reference from a coach, just if we need to call them and ask them a question, if that coach is no longer available, find your favorite teacher who would also stick up for you. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay, like I mentioned, not all the scholarships are academic, and Michelle Corbis is a perfect example. She has a scholarship called Oh, the Places You Will Go. She will explain.
Hi everybody, I'm Michelle Corbis, and I've lived in Castro Valley my entire life. I'm not as old as the year I graduated yet. I graduated in 1982, and my husband and I started this scholarship. He graduated from Castro Valley High in 1981. We started it because we love to travel. So this scholarship prompt is for fun. It's $500, and by the way, I want to commend all of you seniors for being here today, because you're amazing and you're smart, because you're here and you're going to get some tips on how to get some free money, because that's what these scholarships are. They're free money. So why not, right? This prompt is just for fun. We call it the Oh, the Places You'll Go Scholarship, and it's to recognize my family's love for travel. So the prompt is, if you could travel anywhere in the world for fun, where would you travel and why? We had to add that for fun part because the first couple of years, and we've been doing this scholarship since 2015, the first year we got a lot of, oh, I would travel to Africa, you know, to be a medic and save the world, and it became not so fun, but just kind of saying what you would want to do, which is great. A lot of these other scholarships are along those lines, but we really want this to be fun, and we want it to be to inspire you to think about where you might want to go, and also to give us ideas on where we might want to go. And in fact, the winner last year, I think, was Japan, and we're going to go to cherry blossoms this year because we love to travel, and the essay was very inspiring. So make it, make it real, make it meaningful. You know, watch your grammar. Sometimes it seems really good, and then I'm really surprised that somebody just didn't, spell check or pay attention to things, and that's something that's going to become really important in college, by the way. You're really going to have to focus on stuff like that. But it doesn't have to be terribly long, but on the other hand, it's got to be compelling. So you're not going to be able to do that in a few sentences, and believe it or not, every year there are quite a few essays that are, maybe 6 sentences. But add a little more. The longest isn't necessarily the winner by a long stretch. Usually a couple of good, strong paragraphs, 2 or 3, as to where you would want to go for fun. And by the way, it doesn't need to be anywhere exotic or far. Please don't use AI. I'm really convinced that at least 2 essays last year used some AI, because I was reading them and I'm thinking, this is just way too deep, or not something I know as a student. Make it real, and do it, from the heart. Let's see, there was one other thing I wanted to say, but I'm forgetting. So I'll end it now, and again, you guys are all great, and I'm really glad you're here, because you've got a good journey ahead of you, and it's inspiring to see you all.
Thank you, Michelle. So this is just a handful of the sponsors. I wish I could have all 30. Oh, I forgot. Oh my gosh. Senior moment. Matthew Pazer is going to come up here and talk about the Castro Valley Arts Foundation.
That's okay. Once you see me once, you want to get rid of me, don't you? So I'm also on the board of the Castro Valley Arts Foundation, and the Castro Valley Arts Foundation gives out 4 scholarships each year, each worth about $500. 2 of these are from the Arts Foundation ourselves, which is money we raise from the community and through community sales. We established the CFA, the Castro Valley Center for the Arts, several years ago, and we also support a lot of shows that go on there as well. And then 2 of the other scholarships are funded by local business people, the Aftermowers and James Phillips, who's a lawyer in Castro Valley. So those are worth $500. And the reason what we give the scholarships for is somebody who's contributed significantly to the arts in Castro Valley High School system. And so by significant contributions, that could be working backstage in the crew, working in the control room, for example, or appearing in shows, that sort of thing, or playing musical instruments in the orchestra, for example. But it needs to be fairly significant. And we'll ask you to write supporting information about what contributions each of one of the applicants has made into their career at Castro Valley High School. And again, this one is not needs based, but it's mainly based on qualifications and experience in the arts. And again, we're not necessarily wanting to support people who are going into the arts field, but just to make sure that they've been supporting the arts in the Castro Valley High School system. Does anybody have any other questions? Thank you very much.
My apologies for missing you. Okay. Oh, because he was up there twice, that's why I was so confused. Anyways, what I was saying is I would love to have all 35 of the sponsors come up here because they all have an amazing story to tell about why they're offering. About 20 of them are memorials, which is really nice. It's a really great way to remember someone and then also support you on your journeys into college or vocational, whatever your path may be. So I think now we're going to walk through the application. Where's my buddy Dan? Dan? Okay, Dan is amazing. We offer, our application is a Google form, and Dan kind of redid it because it wasn't organized as nicely as he would like, and so he put it together in an amazing way. So, all right, dates, very important. Tonight at 9 p.m. it opens, and you're all going to be going right home and starting your applications, right? I know you have homework, that probably comes first. But it does close on March 2nd at 11:59 p.m. Last year I kept it open another year. Stayed up till 1 a.m., which if you ask my son Alex, 1 a.m. is really hard for me to stay up that late. But I did it for you guys. All right, so let's walk them through the application. So if you go to our website, this is obviously our website, cvef.org. We also have a scholarship page, programs page that lists every scholarship and how much and what they're for. So you can see all that there. Let's show you that right now. So I'm going to get out of your way so you can see that blue box that says 2025 scholarship application will open on January 15th. That is the box that you will click on to start your application. If you scroll down a little bit, Dan, all the scholarships are listed in alphabetical order. The first one is my parents that both passed away, that I set up a scholarship, I know, for a first generation college student. So for the memorials, read about who, we try to ask the sponsor to give us a little bit of information. What was that person like? Why did they create this scholarship? My parents were so supportive of first generation students. My mom worked with foster children, and so as sisters and brothers, we all got together and we thought this would be the best thing. So when you're reading that, think about who this person is and why it was important to them. And I think your essay will mean more to them if you're relating to the message that they're showing in the description. So everything's listed in alphabetical order. We'll show how many scholarships we're offering. We have a couple TBDs, and those are sponsors that want to see who you are. They'll handpick, which, they have certain students that they really like, or they can't decide, so they offer multiple. So, but we do try to give you a sense of how much each one is. Like I said, you can apply to many, but you're not going to be, not all of them are going to apply to you. Some of them are specifically for music, and if you're not a music person, don't click yes. So be very careful about which ones you're choosing. Once again, the sponsor will see the entire application. So what we'll do for the sponsors is put together a Google folder of all the applicants that applied for that scholarship. So they're going to get a big folder with all your applications in them. And so they'll see the entire application. So, do you want to talk a little bit, Dan, about how they should use the website and maybe create a Google Doc? Explain that really. Oh, just rolling. So remember that blue box is what you click on.
Hi everybody, hi seniors, welcome. You guys still refreshed from your winter break, or is it a week and a half ago? It was like infinity ago, and you've forgotten all about it. And now it's just study, 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 apply, apply, apply. You guys are here because you want to go to college, because you want to get some of this, right? So you're probably applying lots of things. Good luck, keep up the work. Perspiration. I'll say I moved to Castro Valley 9 years ago, since people are giving their pedigree here. I got 2 kids in the school system, one graduated. I went to high school a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and by the time I reach the age of my graduation year, I'll probably be dead. So this here is the application form. So it's a Google form, and it's pretty long. By the time you go through it, it might be one of the longer Google forms that you've ever experienced in your life. All those applications, scholarships that I was just scrolling through on the other web page are all in here. And all the descriptions that you might have tried to read as I was scrolling through, they're all copied and pasted verbatim into this application form. So you really just have to use the application form, and you don't have to go back and forth between the website and the application form and log all of that stuff. It's all there for you. And the applications are pretty easy to do. There's just a box that says yes or no for each scholarship if you want to apply for it. If you want to, you check yes, the little radio button, check yes. If you don't want it, or you're not qualified for it, and it's not targeted to you, just check no, or leave it blank. Some of them, as has been discussed in there, if you check yes, then there'll be like another field or 2 below it, because the sponsors want an essay. Like Sarah mentioned, the essays are meant to be not too long. There's a 2,000 character limit, which, we gauged that it's kind of like about what a 1-page essay would be if you were writing, old school on a normal piece of 8.5 by 11 paper. A couple hundred words at most. So that should be enough to answer the questions without going on too long and bulking up your essay too much. Some of them also require other things, like the music ones. You heard about those. Those are going to require you to submit a video of you singing or playing your instrument. And so the form here actually has like a field in it for you to attach your video file. There's a limit of, I think, 100 megabytes or something. So if you're doing a 2-minute video, depending on what kind of video tech you use, it might exceed the 100 megabytes. Don't worry, you won't be able to upload it on this form, but just in the essay box above, just throw in a URL or a hyperlink there to some place where you have stored it, like on a Google Drive, some other place, or on a free file sharing, or a tiny URL or whatever, where we can publicly access it so the sponsors can watch your video. Some of them also require people supporting you, writing things to support you. Like a few of the athletic scholarships will require you to get a letter of recommendation from a coach who can say nice things about you to boost your application. And so you'll need to get that and attach that uploaded in your application. Yeah, so it's a long form. And if you want to apply for a lot of things, you may need to write a fair number of essays and get together all this other sort of information. And so our strategy that we recommend to you for how to do this effectively and efficiently is kind of described here at the top, so I encourage you to read that. But the idea is you're probably not going to be able to do a good job on it if you sit down at 11:30 on the night that it's due and try to pull all that stuff together in a hurry. In fact, you probably shouldn't even start filling out the form until you've had a chance to read it and kind of sort and pick and choose the ones that you want to take a shot at. So once you know that, then you'll know which of them require essays. So you can take some time to go ahead and write those essays, and think about them, and improve them, get them ready for showtime once you really want to submit. If you have to go get that coach's letter, give yourself a couple weeks to ask your coach and then for them to do it and give it back to you. If you have to make a music video, you're going to have to take some time to figure out what you want to do, practice, and make it just the way you want it, and then actually record it. So this is not something that one should do in a hurry at the last minute. So scan the whole thing, get yourself organized, figure out what you need to prepare all that stuff, and then once you're all good to go, you got everything together, sit down for an hour or two, open up the form, and do it all in one shot. Usually Google Forms don't necessarily let you save drafts, or maybe you can, but the draft only lasts for a couple days or something like that before it poof evaporates and you have to start over. So we don't necessarily recommend that you do half of it now and then half of it in 3 weeks from now, because it might not be there when you come back in 3 weeks. So again, just read it, digest it, get yourself organized, however many days or weeks that takes, and then knock it out in one session. It is due March 2nd, that's been said a couple times, so we just highlighted that there. And one other thing that we request here is an email to contact you at. If we need to get any clarification from you on elements of your application, we need to be able to reach you by email. But we cannot email from the outside into the Castro Valley educational domain. It doesn't work. So we need to be able to reach you at an email or a phone number that will actually get through to you. So use a personal Google or a personal Okay, that's all I want to do about sharing about the form. But one other thing I do want to highlight is, as you've heard, some of these scholarships are needs-based, and there's a question about what needs is, and yes, to answer your question clearly, it is financial need, your family's financial situation. And so we have taken, there's about 4 or 5 of those that are needs-based, and we've taken them and co-located them into one section of the form, so they're all together in that section. And in that section, you'll be required to provide a little bit of information and answer some questions to kind of substantiate your need and to demonstrate that. And you'll also be required to upload your FAFSA report, which is, it's got that number. It used to be called Estimated Family Contribution. It's got some other name now. SAI, Student Aid Index, I think. So it's basically a number that is indicative of your need based on the information that you and your parents or whomever the adult was that filled out the FAFSA with you has entered, and the government system has cracked its gears and generated this number for how much the government thinks you need. So that's a useful piece of information for our sponsors as well, and they're going to want to see that. So if you get to that section, and it's clearly labeled as the needs-based section, and you click yes for any of those, and fill out the essays, et cetera, et cetera. At the bottom of that, there'll be a field to enter those questions and enter that, upload that FAFSA. And you won't be able to get out of that section without supplying that information. Yeah, so that's how the needs-based work. Student aid index. It is a number, yeah. Yeah. I think maybe this question is about like when you first fill it out on the FAFSA website, if you've done that already, like they send you a preliminary number, but then maybe you get a different number. I'm not sure how that works. Maybe Ms. Brockett, do you know how that all works? Okay. Okay. Yeah, there was a lot of heartache about that last year because you might have heard that the federal government changed a lot about the FAFSA system. And people were not getting that information until like June or whatever. Very, very late. Hard for colleges to figure out financial aid. But it seems like it's fixed this year, so sure. Yeah, any device that you can do it on your phone if you really want to. It'd be hard, but yeah, any device that can get to the internet. You have to log in with a Google account. So. Yeah. I've seen that done. I saw that a lot last year. Yeah. I even saw some people just use chunks verbatim in between different essays. And on one hand, you might think, oh, be creative, make it different. But on the other hand, you think you put a lot of thought and effort into crafting that paragraph about yourself, so why not use it multiple times? Yeah. It's up to you. Yeah.
So at the beginning of the application, we're going to ask a lot of questions about you. We're going to ask your email. What are your plans for college? What are your intended major? So the sponsors will get that kind of overall information about you before you even start applying. What activities did you do? What do you do outside of the classroom? That kind of thing. So these are the questions that I was just talking about, just the basic gender, your school record. Please use your name that's on your school transcripts. Your sponsors will also get a copy of your transcript as well. So when they're reading your application, they'll read your application and they'll see your transcript.
And just quickly, one thing that I'm going to do is go through the application myself and just do a prototype. And that way, what I could do is create handouts that show all questions on the Google form. That way, you don't need to just be able to only see the first couple pages. I'll have paper handouts as well as a link to a Google Doc with all of the questions from the Google form that will be asked for students. So yeah, seniors will be able to access that through our website.
in mind. So sponsors, you know, they define the requirements for us. So some sponsors, you know, will require if it's needs-based, right? And those are all at the end, and like Dan said, we grouped those all together. So they will be evaluating you based on your FAFSA numbers and that kind of thing. Some other sponsors also want us to send the check to your college. It's a small percentage. Most of the time, 90% of the time, CVEF is writing a check to you, the student. We have no control over what you spend that money on. We're assuming you're going to use it in a good way. But some sponsors specifically want us to send the check to UCLA or Las Positas or wherever. So I will be putting a note in your, should we tell about Senior Awards Night? Do they know that? So how do you find out if you won, I guess, is the question that you probably are wondering, right? The CVHS, obviously, the scholarship committee figures out, it gives us the answer to the STAM, Mary Jane STAM Award, and then I give to Maddie all the other ones, all the winners, and you will get a notice saying you are invited to Senior Awards Night because you're getting an award, but you will not know what award you're getting, so it will be a surprise. I have a few sponsors that tell you guys, and I can't control that. I feel like it should be a surprise, but ideally you'll find out on Senior Awards Night what award you've got, along with other high school awards, right? So it's a big, there's, hopefully you'll all be invited to Senior Awards Night. All right, so you're still going through. So if your sponsor says that we have to send the check to your college, I will be putting in your packet along with your certificate saying, please give me the information. We ask you to sign our scholarship agreement, and then I need to know Las Positas, your student ID at Las Positas, and the address for the financial aid office. So you may be hearing from me. If I still need that information, I may be texting you. I've discovered that you all listen to texts a lot more than emails. I don't know why I even started with emails. Because you respond a lot better to text messages, but anyways.
Back to the form. Okay, so if you were watching as I spoke through, those are the first couple sections are all about personal information about you and things you like to do and how you spend your time, etc. Or we get here to the actual big old list of scholarships. The sections are general scholarships. So a little bit of instructions, and then we just get into a really long list. You can see the little scroll bar up here is itty bitty. It's a long page. And again, the descriptions here are enough for you to know how to proceed. It's exactly what was on the website. And let's go to an example that requires an essay. Okay, here's one called the Karen Galender Social Changemaker Award. Description, description, description. Boom, essay required. So if you check yes here, then you should take them to the next box. It says if you answered yes, please answer this question in bold here, and you put it down here and you type in your essay there, or you've written it somewhere else and you cut and paste it in there. And this one's interesting because it wants a little more from you. It says, please respond as imaginative as you like. You can do in any creative medium that inspires you. So if you want to upload a video or something, you can do it right here. And this file is up to 10 megabytes. But like I said before, if you've got a bigger file, just in your essay box up here, throw in the link to where the people who review your application find it. Or you just add it here and open that up, and there's an upload box. It's over 10 megabytes. So that's an example of the mechanics of how it works. And yeah, so there's just a whole bunch of these, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You get the feeling why I said don't touch do it all in one night without preparation, right? I'll just take a little bit of thought. Get down to the middle of this section. And then here's the ones that I mentioned before, scholarships that consider financial need. Again, a little bit more instruction. It's what I said before about putting in your FAFSA or the California Dream Act submission summary, which is a state equivalent of the federal. We got a couple big ones from the Rotary here. There's 4 of them that are $3,500 each. Actually, they didn't come this year. Okay. Yeah. And several of these also require essays. So you can put your thoughts together. And then if you say yes here, it'll make sure that you put in, it'll take you to a place to put your FAFSA in. I'm going to say no, so I need for it to get here. Then there's just basically the sign off at the end. Just put some there. Then you can submit it. And then that's it.
All right, thank you, Dan. Yes, question? Yes, my advice would be to do the Google form all in one swoop. And so, like I said, that's why I'm going to do the printouts, and I'll put the Google Drive link that shows the form in its entirety in a Google Doc form, so students can kind of use that as a template to work off. And that way, when it comes time to fill out the Google form, they can copy and paste their answers in. Yeah, good question. Any other questions? Yes. Yes, so all the scholarships will include, if there is an essay component, what is that essay that they'll need to prepare? Yes, aside from the Dr. Mary Jane Stam Scholarship, which does cover all 4 years, most are just for the first year. And one more thing to add, if you are planning on applying to one of the needs-based scholarships, it is really important for you to start working on your FAFSA like now. Because that being said, just so that we can again support you if anything does come up with the FAFSA, in case there are any issues, questions, we can support you and your families on working through that successfully, so that again you're able to provide your student aid report to the Google Doc, so you'll have your FAFSA processed. And we've been telling you guys to work on it, to turn it in by March 2nd, which is also the deadline for CVEF scholarship. And so again, all the more reason to start both working on the scholarships and working on your FAFSA equally early. Yes. Bullet points, Lewis. Good question. All right. Well, thank you, Dan and Sarah. Let's give them a round of applause, guys. Thank you, guys. All right, and I'm just going to wrap up here with some tips and resources for you all. And again, just letting you know, the live stream of this evening will be, I can't do 2 things at once. The live stream of this evening will be posted on our website, as well as the CVEF application link, the Google Doc packet that I will put together tomorrow, and any links that'll be helpful in terms of writing your essays for that. We will also have several Trojan Times lunch workshops, after school workshops, on again being able to support you guys as you're working through deciding which scholarships are a good fit for you and working on the essay components. So that being said, I just want to give you guys a few pointers about essays. We want to make sure, again, we're showing respect to our sponsors. These sponsors have generously given this money to our seniors, and so again, we want to make sure that we're not just copy and pasting something that we put on our college apps necessarily, right? We can use the same content, we can use the same material, but again, we're going to want to make sure that we know what we're writing for. Are we writing for a memorial scholarship? Are we writing for a scholarship that's looking for a specific career interest? And so again, we want to make sure that we're reading the prompts and kind of understanding what the motive is behind this gift money. Creating a Google Word doc, I will have those available. So once I have that available on our website, I highly recommend just using that Google Doc to make sure that you know kind of which scholarships you're interested in applying to, being able to start working on those essays. And again, the sooner the better, because if you start working on essays, you know, in the next couple of weeks, then you're able to utilize some weeks in February to have those checked by our CCC staff, get a second pair of eyes, which can be really helpful during the process. You want to eliminate any scholarships that aren't going to be a fit for you, and not all 70 are going to fit every student, right? You're going to want to pick and choose and prioritize those scholarships that really call to you, prioritize the scholarships that are of the most interest, the most exciting to you, that you feel like are a really close personal fit. And at the same time, we don't necessarily want to exclude you from writing for a scholarship that might be of interest. For instance, the the Places You'll Go scholarship, I've had students tell me like, oh, it doesn't fit me. It doesn't fit, you know, and I'm like, do you like to travel? And they're like, well, yeah, I love to travel. And I'm like, that's all this is asking for. You don't have to have, you know, a certain, you know, and they meet the GPA requirement or they meet all the other stuff, but then they'll still say like, I don't know, you know? And so sometimes it's just that confidence of being able to say, hey, does this fit me? Is this something that I can really look within myself to see if, you know, maybe there is some interest there on my part. So also don't hesitate to do that. Is there a story you can make that connects you with the questions? And painting a picture with your words, with your essays is going to be very important. So again, just really same thing about, you know, in terms of writing essays for college, you want to make sure you're prioritizing what are the scholarships that you want the most, you know? What are the essays that might be the most challenging? Maybe you want to prioritize those first. So again, whatever works for you in your writing process, we really want you to get started on that as soon as possible. So again, we can support you throughout the time that the application is open. It's only open for about 6 weeks, and so it goes by really fast. And I know you guys are seniors and you have a lot on your plates right now, and you're applying for, you know, summer internships. Some of you guys are still applying to, you know, Common App deadlines in colleges. So again, I know it's a very busy time. And so that's why, again, we have this evening event, we have this live stream, we have this packet for students, because again, we want to be able to support that process to be able for you guys to win this money, because it is such a wonderful, wonderful effort on the Castro Valley Ed Foundation's part. And such a beautiful organization that, again, we want to share that with you in all its glory and support you through the process. And then as some of the sponsors were saying, edit your work, right? We want to look over the essays. Brevity is good, right? It doesn't have to be, you know, a 5-page paper. But again, know that 2,000 character limitation on the Google form. And so you will be cut off after 2,000 characters. So you want to make sure that your essay falls under that. So you can always check it on Google Docs to see how many characters you're looking at. And again, kind of go from there. But also, if you need guidance around this stuff, you're not sure how much is too much or too little, that's a time where you could really utilize the College and Career Center staff, utilize our workshops to come and chat it with us, you know, and get our advice too. And just some quick do's and don'ts. Definitely apply on time. That's a big one. Don't keep Ms. Massio up until 1 a.m. We don't like that. It's not good. If you have one that requires a letter of recommendation, definitely ask for that early. Again, if it's a teacher recommendation, you might want to ask a teacher that you also ask for college app season. They might already have a letter that's similar or that's kind of ready to go. But again, if you need any help or advice on which teachers to ask or what would be a good fit, that's something we can help with. You are going to want to have your documents ready. They're going to ask you about your extracurriculars, kind of like on the college apps. So again, you might want to pull up, you know, if you've made an extracurricular list or a senior brag sheet, those might be really helpful documents in terms of also filling out the scholarship application. And some don'ts. So don't pay for money or don't pay money to get money, right? So some of these scholarship websites, they charge, you know, a monthly fee. And there shouldn't be any reason for that. You know, we have the Castro Valley Ed Foundation, which is free to apply, and they're giving out, you know, over $150,000. So there is no reason that our seniors should have to pay money to try to win money. Okay, so we definitely recommend utilizing Castro Valley Ed Foundation scholarships, but also we have more local and regional scholarships posted on our website for the College and Career Center under our scholarships page. And so we try to update those with local and regional offerings that, again, our students have a really high chance of winning and that are free to apply to. Yeah. Don't wait till the last minute, and don't think you won't get in, right? Go for it. Go for those scholarships that call to you. And some scholarship searching tips: always use a non-school professional email. We're at the point where we're about to phase out your Castro Valley school emails, and so again, you're going to all the more reason to use the email that you use to apply to colleges with, right? That also works as a really great financial aid email as well. Write a few essays that can fit multiple scholarships, okay? So those of you who might have a Common App statement, PIQs, supplemental essays from Common App, that content can be used and adapted to our scholarships. Again, you don't want to do a copy and paste, you know, of a PIQ, you know, about how to make the community a better place into something that asks you about why you've chosen your chosen career path, right? And I've seen students do that. They're like, oh, just copy and paste. No, we want to, again, make sure that we're tailoring our essays to the prompt. And also, like I said earlier, knowing where that money is coming from. Is it coming from an organization? Is it coming from a memorial fund for somebody? You know, taking that extra time can really show in your writing that you are actually not just valuing receiving a scholarship, but you're valuing the sponsor who is gifting it, which I think is a really beautiful thing. And then save a PDF copy of your transcripts. You'll have to upload that. Let me know if you need a PDF copy. I can always help you guys with that. And any score reports that you might need to upload. And then you can use a tracker. So we have several college trackers, financial aid trackers on our website, which are really just Google Excel sheets or templates of Excel sheets that students can use to, again, list all the scholarships they're applying to, just to stay organized and kind of, again, know how much money you've applied to, when the deadlines are. That can be really helpful as well. Other financial aid reminders. So like I was saying, if you are going to be applying for a needs-based scholarship, and you know you may be applying for needs-based scholarships, it is all the more reason for you to get started on the FAFSA early. We have FAFSA Fridays in the College and Career Center, so we are always making FAFSA appointments, and we're running FAFSA slides during lunch every Friday. And so again, that's kind of a open door for any students who want to come by and ask those financial aid questions. And we can also make one-on-one appointments for you as well. And just know that when you complete the FAFSA, you are not only able to then apply for needs-based scholarships through Castro Valley Ed Foundation, but you are also automatically considered for federal and state grants, such as the Pell Grant, Cal Grant, there's university grants, all sorts of things, and California Promise Grant for those of you who are going to community college. As long as you complete FAFSA in a timely manner, we want by March 2nd, then you will receive a first year free for community college. So again, all the more reason to get started on that FAFSA. And then also you'll have availability for work study. So again, I've had parents say, you know, I don't want to fill out FAFSA, or I don't know if I qualify for anything, if I make a certain income. It really does set the student up for success in terms of their financial aid profile, that they will roll over every year that they're in college. And that's really important because, again, your financial situation might change year to year, and so it's great to have that profile already set up for the student. Every year, the student will also get access to work study if they opt in for it, which is their ability to work on campus for some paychecks to help reduce that tuition. And then also students will be, offered loans. And again, there's no pressure to take those loans, but sometimes, things happen, right? People, sometimes things happen where somebody, loses a job or gets laid off, and we can't ever predict those things. So I think, again, all the more reason just to have that safety net, right? And to set up that profile for your student. And thank you so much for coming. This presentation will be, it'll be live streamed, and the live stream, thank you Julian up in the booth, appreciate you, you'll be live streaming the show. We're going to post this video on our website as well as the document and the link to all of CVEF scholarships as well as our website. I want to give a big round of applause to Sarah Massey and Dan Kuhner from the Castro Valley Ed Foundation. Thank you, as well as all our sponsors. Thank you guys so much. And do you guys have any last questions before we go? Yes. What's up? Yes, so this is, yes, all for our seniors, okay? So yes, we'll definitely want you to work through that application because this is all for our Castro Valley seniors, right? And like I said, these will help with your first year of college, whether you decide to go to a apprenticeship program, a community college, four-year college, etc. Good question. Anyone else? Yes. I'm getting a no. So no, we want to make sure that again, that's.
FAFSA was such a mess last year when it was brand new, and he would reach out to all of the students. You don't have your FAFSA yet, or you submitted and you do something wrong. Just email. My name's up there, Sarah@cvef.org. Just email me. We'll take care of it. We're not gonna. We're rooting for you, right? We're not gonna just. So we'll figure it out.
Yes, and again, it's just like Sarah was saying, you know, they want this for you guys. And so if there's an error that happens or something happens, feel free to contact Sarah or Dan, or just come to me and talk to me about it, and I can connect you guys as well. But again, we just want to make sure that you're successful. But yes, definitely plan to write out your answers beforehand. Yeah. Yes. Correct. So yes, we want all of our seniors on this form to use a personal email, okay? So do not use your school email. You won't be able to receive outside email, especially if one of the sponsors wants to contact the student. So again, having that personal email just kind of opens that door and allows that connection. Wonderful. All right, thank you guys so much for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a lovely evening.